an instrument of divine justice.
Most Street Fighter characters are known to follow a principle of virtue and morality. But what if I tell you that not all fighters follow that principle? Vega is one of the main villains in the Street Fighter universe. His inhuman reflections, precision, and power aren't used for the good. They are used to fulfill Bison's will. We will uncover the mysteries behind this masked warrior. Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Street Fighterverse. Vega's concept of being a Spanish ninja was not originally in the planning. In the later phases of development, a handful of concepts such as a ninja character, a Thai character, and a Spanish character were left incomplete, to which artist Kayegama was assigned to create. Initially, Vega was meant to be a Thai ninja, but was suddenly told to make a Spanish ninja, in a similar style to the nameless Asura, an antagonist of the Fist of the North Star series, known for his immense agility, distinct mask, bladed weapons, and braided ponytail. Early sketches suggest that Vega was going to resemble a medieval knight wearing a full suit of armor. This idea was scrapped, as Street Fighter was about fighters from all over the world, not from different time periods. There are a few remnants of this concept in Vega's final design, specifically a mask and a sharp metal claw. A similar type of weapon was used in Geki in the original Street Fighter, which has led to speculation that Vega received some training from Geki. Vega is a tall, strikingly handsome young man, with long hair that is braided into a ponytail. His hair has switched between brown, black, and blonde through various Street Fighter media. In the Street Fighter 2 series, Vega's hair is colored brown in the sprites, but colored blonde in the endings that feature him. The comics give him blonde hair, as do Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Street Fighter 5. In Street Fighter 4, Vega has brown hair in both the cutscenes and the gameplay. He wears moire and yellow ceremonial trousers, a red sash, loafers, and white leggings of a matador, suggesting his involvement with bullfighting. This decorative garb offers matadors ease of movement, and is therefore ideal for Vega's acrobatic maneuvers. Vega also has a purple snake tattoo on his chest, which circles his left arm, and on his right arm and both his wrists, he wears gold-colored armlets. The tattoo shows him to be a villain to a Japanese audience, where body tattoos are usually worn by Yakuza members. Vega, as we know him in the United States, in Japan his name was Balrog. He is one of the main bosses, originally being an unplayable boss in the Street Fighter 2 series. Before his update in the Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, he is of narcissistic personality, with an obsessive attraction for beauty. Vega is one of M. Bison's personal bodyguards, and is one of the initial 4 Heavenly Kings. The 4 Heavenly Kings consist of M. Bison as a leader, and 3 of his personal bodyguards, from lowest to highest, which are Balrog, Vega, and Sagat. Later in Street Fighter V, Sagat was replaced with Fang, after Sagat's decision to leave the Shadowloo. Vega was born into a privileged, wealthy family that later in life lost all their fortune. This situation caused his mother to remarry to secure their livelihood. Later on, his mother was killed by his stepfather, believing she was being disrespectful to him. He was killed by Vega in return. Driven into insanity by this incident, he developed a dual personality, honorable nobleman by day, sadistic murderer by night. Vega is vain, overconfident, and highly convinced of his own abilities, almost to the point of megalomania. He is also incredibly sadistic, and takes great pleasure in seeing the ugly murdered, and preferably mutilated. He often has a stone-cold demeanor, and does not show a wide range of emotions. Vega has a white mask that is lacking in facial features or expressions. There is a purple symbol on his mask, the same color as his tattoos. It is difficult to tell how durable his mask is. On one hand, Vega is able to crush it to dust with one hand if he loses due to a time over in Street Fighter Alpha 3. On the other hand, it takes several hits before the mask falls off, and even then, he can easily pick up and reapply the mask, with no apparent lasting damage. Much like Sagat's eye patch in earlier games, Vegas' claw will always appear on whatever arm matches the direction he is facing. If he is looking to the left side of the screen, it will appear on his left arm, and if he is looking right, it will be on his right. Due to sprite mirroring, in the Street Fighter EX series, it will always be on his right arm. In Street Fighter 4, however, he changes his claw every time he switches sides, without mirroring. This can be seen in his tattoo, his accessories, and in the mark on his mask. Curiously enough, during the versus screen, his portrait won't be mirroring all the accessories either, with the unique exception of his claws. In Street Fighter V, Vega retained his claws and red waist sash, but is now wearing a partially open white shirt. His traditional matador pants are now a light blue denim. The purple snake tattoo that encircles his torso can still be partially seen. His alternate costume is an altered version of his outfit. The sleeves of his frill shirts are short, and his signature mask is replaced with a golden opera mask. His blonde hair is tied in a slick back ponytail, with a long single fringe in the center of his head. It is said that his weapon of choice is the bagnak. The bagnak is a fist-load claw-like weapon, originating from the Indian subcontinent, designed to fit over the knuckles or be concealed under and against the palm. It consists of 4 or 5 curved blades, affixed to a crossbar or glove, and is designed to slash through the skin and muscle. It is believed to have been inspired by the armament of big cats, and the term bagnak itself means tiger claws in Hindi. Vega, as stated before, is from Spain. Spain is a country in southwestern Europe, with some pockets of territory in the Mediterranean Sea, offshore in the Atlantic Ocean, and across the Strait of Gibraltar. Its continental European territory is situated in the Iberian Peninsula, and its insular territory includes the Balearic Islands in the Mediterranean Sea, several small islands in the Alboran Sea, and the Canary Islands in the Atlantic Ocean. The Spanish territory also includes the African semi-exclaves of Ceuta, Melilla, and Peñón de Vélez. Across the Strait of Gibraltar, the country's mainland is bordered to the south and east by the Mediterranean Sea, to the north by France, Andorra, and the Bay of Biscay, and to the west by Portugal and the Atlantic Ocean. In the United States, we know him as Vega. In Japan, he's known as Balrog. He is one of the main bosses, originally being an unplayable boss in the Street Fighter II series, before his update on the Street Fighter II Champion Edition. He is of a narcissistic personality, with an obsessive attraction for beauty. Vega is one of M. Bison's personal bodyguards, and is one of the initial 4 Heavenly Kings. The 4 Heavenly Kings constitute of M. Bison as leader, and 3 of his personal bodyguards, which are Balrog, Vega, and Sagat from lowest to highest. Later in Street Fighter V, Sagat was replaced with Fang, Fang, after Sagat's decision to leave the Shadow Lu. Vega was born into a privileged, wealthy family that later in life lost all their fortune. This situation caused his mother to remarry, to secure their livelihood. Later on, his mother was killed by his stepfather. He believed she was being disrespectful to him. In return, he was killed by Vega. Driven into insanity by this incident, he developed a dual personality: honorable nobleman by day, sadistic murderer by night. Vega is vain, overconfident, and highly convinced of his own abilities, almost to the point of megalomania. He is also incredibly sadistic, and takes great pleasure in seeing the ugly murdered, and preferably mutilated. He often has a stone-cold demeanor, and does not show a wide range of emotions. Vega is tall, strikingly handsome young man, with long hair that is braided into a ponytail. In the Street Fighter II series, Vega's hair is colored brown in the sprites, but colored blonde in the endings that feature him. Vega also has a purple snake tattoo on his chest, which circles his left arm, and on his right arm and both his wrists. He wears gold-colored armlets. The tattoo shows him to be a villain to the Japanese audience, where body tattoos are usually worn by Yakuza members. He wears muri and yellow ceremonial trousers, a red sash, loafers, and white leggings, a style very similar to a matador from Spain. Vega most of the time uses a mask, and wears a claw in his arm as a striking weapon. Vega's vanity is demonstrated by the way he uses his mask. He wears the mask not to conceal his identity, but to protect his face from scarring or bruising during battle, so that he can more easily view himself as perfect looking. Vega often removes it after fights during his win poses, and his face is at least partially, if not fully, exposed in some of his character select mugshots, as well as some of his individual endings. Additionally, many characters can recognize Vega, even if they have never seen him without his mask. In some games, he can remove the mask during battle. As a part of the noble cultural tradition, he mainly studied bullfighting. Vega has developed his own style of fighting, derived from the 3 different world fighting techniques. His personal style is based out of bullfighting, Japanese ninjutsu, and it's rumored that his other combination is French savate. Vega mixed European styles with Asian styles of self-defense to create his own. Let us start by the most cultural aspect of his persona, the Spanish-style bullfighting. It is stated that the Spanish-style bullfighting is a type of fight that is practiced in Spain, Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, Peru, as well as in parts of southern France and Portugal. This style of bullfighting involves a physical contest with humans and other animals attempting to publicly subdue, immobilize, or kill a bull. The most common bull used is the Spanish fighting bull, Toro Bravo, a type of cattle native to the Iberian Peninsula. This style of bullfighting is seen to be both a sport and a performance art. The red color of the cape is a matter of tradition. Bulls are actually colorblind. They attack moving objects. The brightly colored cape is used to actually mask bloodstains. Each bull is at least 4 years old and weighs up to 1,300 pounds, with a minimum weight of 1,010 pounds. This type of training gets Vega to be on his toes all the time, which makes sense when you see Vega's gameplay. Vega is all about movement and speed, 2 very important factors to live by if you want to survive a bull ring. The Japanese ninjutsu is another technique of his arts. Ninjutsu was developed as a collection of fundamental survivalist techniques. In the warring state of feudal Japan, the ninja used their art to ensure their survival. In a time of violent political turmoil, ninjutsu included methods of gathering information and techniques of non-detection, avoidance, and misdirection. Ninjutsu involved training in free running, disguise, escape, concealment, archery, and medicine. Skills relating to espionage and the assassination were highly useful to warring factions in feudal Japan. At some point, the skills of espionage became known collectively as ninjutsu, and the people who specialized in these tasks were called shinobi no mono. Throughout history, the shinobi were assassins, scouts, and spies who were hired mostly by territorial lords known as daimyo. The daimyo were powerful Japanese magnates, feudal lords who from the 10th century to the early Meiji period in the middle 19th century ruled most of Japan from their vast hereditary land holdings. Despite being able to assassinate in stealth, the primary role was as spies and scouts. Shinobi are mainly noted for their use of stealth and deception. They would use this to avoid direct confrontation if possible, which enabled them to escape large groups of opposition. Well, they do not call him the Spanish ninja for nothing. You can see his ninjutsu training with his jumps, roll attacks, and stealth-like attacks. Next, one of his styles is the French savate. Savate is known as savate boxing, French boxing, or French foot fighting. It is a French kickboxing combat sport that uses the hands and feet as weapons, combining elements of English boxing with graceful kicking techniques. Only foot kicks are allowed, unlike some systems such as Muay Thai, which allow the use of the knees or shins. Savate is a French word for old shoe or boot. Savate fighters wear specially designed boots. A male practitioner of savate is called tireur, while a female is called tireuse. Vega has an arsenal of fast-moving technique, but his kick and underleg sweep tactics are brutal to any opponent. Speed and movement, the fighting style of the claw. So what did you like about this episode? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This has been your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage. By the way, if you would like to donate or simply get us a coffee, we would like to inform you that sure you can at ko-fi.com/streetfighterverse. We are grateful for every single one of you. You guys make this possible, and for that we thank you. Our new Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of this Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.